another tutorial with me. My name is Crafty JoJo and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the UK. And today I want to show you how to create one of these little satchels. They are quite cute. They have the back straps and the handle, and the closure is also quite cute, and there is space inside. Oh, this is still so stiff. There's space inside for this little chalkboard that I made, which at the back side allows a private message with a white pencil. You could write on it, or you just stamp a sentiment like I did at the front. And it just features a little tag as well, so it's quite cute and easy to make, and I'm going to show you how. But I'm going to do a different color scheme because I always try to not make two identical items. So this was the prototype for my tutorial, and I'm now going to create the pink one. So actually it's Berry Burst, I think is this color, the new Berry Burst that I'm using. So I'm not going to mention the measurements in detail, especially for all these tiny little strips that you need here, because sometimes it happens that I misspeak a measurement and then there's a problem. I'm going to, please refer back to my blog. The link to my blog will be in the description box of this video, so all the measurements are going to be in detail and 100% right are going to be on my blog. So whatever measurements I mention during this work here, I might be even wrong because I'm just concentrating on my work more so than on what I say. So please make the effort. If you want to craft this, if you want to do this little project with me, please go to my blog. The description box of this video holds all the links also to my blog, where you can find all the measurements and a few more explanations on how to make it as well. So I'm going to start with, you need one main piece of cardstock, and that is actually measuring 10 by 8 1/4, and you need to score it. And there's another explanation I want to give, because there has been some misunderstanding about what it means when you say you score on the long side or you score on the short side. The long side, as the name suggests, is the longer side. So if I say score on the long side, I mean in this case the 10-inch side is the longer side, because this is only 8 1/4 inch. So the long side is going to be in the horizontal position. So this is when I'm scoring, when I put my score marks on the long side, this is the right position. And if I say score on the short side, this is the short side because it is only 8 1/4 long, and that's then the short side in the horizontal position. But I think that's clear enough now. Not much more to say. So first of all, you need to score on your long side at 1/2 inch all the way down, and then at 2 1/2, and then you would need to score at 5 1/4, which is here, and at 7 1/4, which is here. And then you turn it and you score on the short side at 1 1/4 and at 4 3/4, which is here, but this score line ends here. Okay, so you don't score, the 4 3/4 score line on the short side ends on the last horizontal score line that you find on your cardstock after you've scored the long side. So this is where it ends. It's very important, because if you score all the way down, you will have this line on your closure of your satchel, which is not nice. Now that you've done this, you turn it back to the long side being horizontal, and the 1/2 inch score line to your left. And now you need to put 2 more score lines in, and you will need to score in these small sections that will be the sides of your satchel. And this is the position is at 1 1/2. You score inside this section, and you have to eyeball, just stop like a good inch before the next score line. Can you see that? I'm stopping here. Okay, I don't score all the way down to this score line here, I stop here. And then you do that as well in the other section, which is at 6 1/4, and you score down in this section here, and you try to eyeball it roughly to be at the same height. So this is what you've got at this point. Can you see it? You have two score lines that end here, and you would need to put a triangle in here and here with your ruler, and I'm going to do this, and these triangles will help the sides of your satchel fold in more nicely. So you need to put these in by hand, and then it's time for cutting. I'm going to mark what you need to cut away, and I'm going to cut it off camera and get back to you. So this is what you have at this point. You have a long section that only has one score line here at the bottom, and then you have quite a few score lines here plus your two triangles. All right, so what needs to come off is the whole of here, from here to here. All this can go, and this tiny little wee one here can go as well, and you take the score lines out here at the bottom. So this is what we're going to do, and I'll see you soon. So this is what you've got after you've cut it the way I said. So you have this long strip, and then you have the smaller partitions here, and you have taken out your score lines here, and this is your flap that is going to close the whole thing. Now you need to decorate it with designer paper, and you need 3 strips. The first strip goes to the long side here, the smaller one goes here, and this one is for the inside, and I'm going to glue these on before I close my box, because then it's much easier, especially the long strip. But before we can do that, we need to round the corners. So I'm using the Project Life corner punch, which I still have, although it's retired, and I just see that this is not 100% straight. I cut it dodgy. Oh no, a wonky line. No way. Baby cats are crying. All right, so here we go. Round the corners of your top bit like so, and do the same with your DSP. And I'm going for the flower side. I like the flowers. This apparently is going to be a very girly bit, so this is going on here like so, and this is going on like so, and I'm going to use wet glue for the perfect fit. So quickly do this. Here we go. And especially with this long strip, make sure that it adheres well, because it tends to come undone, especially if you use tape, if there's not much in the center. So because you are at some point going to curl the closure of your satchel to the front, and if this designer paper is not glued down everywhere, it will come undone or get like warped, and that's not nice as well. So okay, here we go. Just quickly going to give it a good rub, make sure it's all nice and done. So the next thing to do is we can burnish and fold. I need my rubber to take off excess glue. Here we go. So I'm going to burnish and fold my little bit here, and this fold line goes inward, and it's actually, as you can see, going to fall in place. These ones will fall in place as soon as you try to squash your satchel, so it will be all right. Just gently push downwards, and these will go in place as well. So this is what you have at this point, and we are going to glue our satchel shut. And again, I'm going to use wet glue because I don't want it to come undone. Doesn't matter basically which way you fold it up. Just make sure you have a nice seam here at the back. and then it's already time to fold the bottom in. So I'm doing this by adding glue in a U shape, like so, and then I fold in my back. So wait a minute, this is not going the way I want it. So I fold in my back, coming in like so, and I do the same with my front bit. And I try to square it up nicely, like so. And I use my bottle to press it down. My side seam wants to come undone. Come on, glue stick. So this is what I do, just quickly. You can still square it up. So this is what your bottom looks like when it's squared up, and this is what you've got so far. So when you squash the sides in to close it, this is going to fold up nicely, and then I'm going to use my bone folder to help curl my paper. And then I'm carefully, because I want it rounded, I don't want any straight line in it, so I'm not going to squash it too badly. So this is actually how far I want to close my satchel. It's up to you whether you make it wider or shorter, but I'm going to use some of these clips to secure it in place on both sides, making sure it's straight. This is straight and nice and parallel to the bottom. And now it is time to glue on all these tiny little strips that we have created. And again, the measurements are all on my blog. The link to my blog is in the description box of this video. You just need to scroll down and click on it, and you'll land in the description on my blog on how to create this. So the next thing to do is you need to cut these 2 strips here, and they are 2 inches long and I think a 1/4 inch wide. And in this satchel I actually used little brads, which I don't have anymore because I ran out of them. The mini brads and the paper split pins are too large for the for this tiny project, so I decided to just use buttons and glue them on, because you don't necessarily have to make a hole and put a brad through. You can also just basically glue them on, but it's just going to be a bit slower. So I've already glued my buttons on, and this is where they go. So I'm going to pop them on here, kind of like so, with wet glue. So this is what's next. So again, my wet glue needs to come out, and I'm going to add some, like a 1/4 inch at the back side is going to be covered in. Oh, my glue is empty again. I don't believe it. I always have empty glue. Have you noticed? In all my videos, my glue is empty. So just basically eyeballing it where you like it and pop it down there, and do the same on this side. So here's some glue, yeah, and try to keep the same distance to the side and the same height roughly. So eyeballing is important here. And let it dry. And whilst this is drying, I've already prepped these little strips, and I think they are 1 inch long and a 1/4 inch wide, and I've already layered it with a bit of DSP, and I've added red sticky tape. Where is my tool? To the back side, and I'm going to peel these off. This red double-sided sticky tape is extra sticky, and you will need that because it's going to hold the closure, so I don't rely on the wet glue in this case. and this is how you place them. I take tweezers, and it's important that you don't put them down here or somewhere. You need to be really close to your border here, otherwise your satchel will not stay closed, it comes undone. So this is what you need to do. You rub it on and place it. So it's important it sits here and not down here, otherwise you'll have issues. Trust me, I've tried it out and I've got 2 prototypes in the bin already. So there you go. Because the problem was, I have made one before, but I couldn't find my tutorial for it, my notes, so they've been lost, and that's exactly my problem. So, and the second one you place in a similar way, and this is the first bit. So this is your front decoration, and the second bit that needs to go on with wet glue, because I don't have any brads anymore, is this little bit. So this is going to have a handmade score line here and a handmade score line here, and then I'm just going to fold this and use my bone folder as well, trying to curl it up as much as possible. The measurement for this strip is also on my blog, so please, I don't know it by heart now. So I'm going to glue this in place like so, and I'm going to start on this side. So again, trying to get out some wet glue from my more or less empty bottle. I actually store it head down, but still, because this is it's tacky glue, and the tacky glue is not very runny anyway. So when these bottles starting to finish up, then it's getting tricky, and I try to stay within the DSP. Oh dear, I've smudged this. Okay, we'll get there. Just slide it in place like so, and now this is moving to here, and this is moving to here. Try to hold it down. This is actually make it worse. I'll hold it down by hand. So you glue this on to the back side, to the top of your satchel, and it's already starting to look like a satchel, and the closure stays set as well, stays put. Great. And I'm still really pressing it down well. Make sure that it adheres well, because, and this one as well, and these ones as well. All right, so we are getting there slowly. Still have to wait and let this glue set in. So the next bit you need to do is, you have these 2 strips. Again, the measurements are on my blog. Please make the effort to go there to look them up. You are going to curl the ends in order to form this loop-like shape. Okay, so the ends are going to be glued down, and I've already layered this with a strip of DSP as well, and I am manually bending them to the shape I need. Something like this you want to create with both of them. And then start the same procedure, gluing it down with wet glue, and you need to wait a bit, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll actually pause the video and come back to you when these are in place. this is what we've got at this point. The shoulder straps, the handle and the closure in place, and the satchel almost assembled. What's left to do is create the little chalkboard. So the chalkboard actually measures 2.5 inches by 3.5 in the berry burst, and I'm going to quickly round all 4 corners. And then you need 2 pieces of black cardstock, which is going to be actually the chalkboard, and these corners stay unrounded, and these measure 2 by 3 inches, and one is going to be stamped with a sentiment, and I want to use the sentiment just for you, and I'm going to stamp it in white. And the white ink pad, mine is very messy, because it seems, look, this, I don't know what happened there, it seems a bit too full, but whatever, it stamps a very nice chalky effect. So you're going to take your sentiment, mine is actually from the stamp set watercolor words, and I'm going to stamp it like so. And what's different with this ink is it's not dry immediately, so you would need to leave it, set it aside for quite a while to dry, or in my case I'm quickly going to use my heat tool and dry it. So I've just quickly dried it off, and I'm going to use my snail to adhere my chalkboards to it. Apparently the second one is going to the back side, and that's ideal for a private message that can be written down there with a white pencil. Part number 1 and number 2. And there you go. Here we go. What's left to do is, excuse me, we need to stamp these little tags, and I'm going to use Berry Burst to stamp it, and I'm going to find a piece of scrap cardstock that might do the job, I think, because this is the same color as my buttons, so I want to use this. I think this is quite pretty. And I still need to clean this, just a second. So I have cleaned my stamp, and I'm going to stamp 2 of these nice little patterns. They are from the Paisleys and Posies stamp set, and I love them. They have some oriental touch. I'm always in for that. And I'm going to punch this out with the 1 1/4 circle punch. So this is number 1, and this is my number 2. And then I would need to punch out 2 scalloped circles, and I'm going to use this punch because I don't have any other. And it's a 1 1/2 inch scalloped circle. If you've got the scalloped dies from Stampin' Up, you could actually die cut it, but I haven't got those either, so I have to improvise like this. And this is how it's going to be layered. So these go on here, and then I'm going to use my twine, and I'm just going to tie 1 to my chalkboard and 1 to my satchel. And actually what is still left to do, which I haven't done yet, is this is the DSP I want to put inside, and it also needs the corners around it, because when you open your satchel, I personally think it looks nicer if there is some DSP from the inside as well, but this is not a must. You can skip that step if you don't like it. Alright, so I'm quickly going to make a hole. So I layer them basically on top of each other, use my handheld punch, make a hole, and then I'm going to just use my stylus, and I'm going to widen this up a bit so that the hole becomes quite large. And I do this on both ends, both sides here. Just punch a hole, widen it and feed your stuff through. Though for this satchel, where's my chalkboard? Here, the way I did this was I just made a hole here, tied a knot, and then opened up the ends, so this is like a bit fluffy, and I like it like this. So this satchel is finished and has got its tag and its chalkboard like so, and this is going to be pretty much the same. So I need, it's eyeballing again, I don't know, actually roughly maybe 15 inches of this, and then I feed it through my hole I just made and pull it together. Need a hole in here, and I'm going to use the upper right corner of my chalkboard, make a hole, widen it up so that this, because the I don't have the my 1/8 of an inch handheld punch is broken, so I need to order a new one, and this is just 1/16. That's why I use my stylus, so I'm improvising. But as you can see, even if you haven't even got the tools, you can still make it. You don't need all the tools, like they are essential. They make it easier and look more professional, but you can do it without it. And then it's just basically pulling on the right end would help, Ute. So okay, I'm pulling on the right end now and feed my ribbon through this hole. There we go. So this is basically how it dangles, and all I did was tie a knot at the back end, and then I can't do it. Okay, here we go. No, we don't. Jesus, I'm struggling here today. So this is how I do it. And I don't want it that long, I don't want it that much down. Wait a minute, stop, stop, stop. I want it like dangling there, so I need the knot down there. So again, trying to use my tweezers. It's not so easy when you have long nails. It's doable, but as you can see, it's a bit challenging. But I never give up, and in the end, I succeed. There you go. So this is still too long, so I'm not going to do this on camera. I basically just start undoing my thread here. So this is the first chalkboard here ready, and this one actually is slightly different because I cut a piece of my ribbon here, my twine, feed it through the hole, and then make sure it's slightly offset like so, and then I actually, what did I do? I think I fed it through here. Yes, I did. I fed it through here, and this one went to this side. And then I tied a knot. Wait a minute, what did I do? No, it went different, sorry. I did it like this. I made a loop, fed the loop through here. So my loop is coming out here. I didn't do it like that, just a second. Okay, I finally figured it out. I split it open. One goes to the inside, one stays outside, and then the outside one I passed through to the inside, and the inside one I passed through to the outside. So leaving me with this. And then I actually tied the first knot like you would do when you want to tie your shoelace. So this was the first one. Just make sure you adjust the length nicely. And after I did that, I crossed underneath, came back to the top and tied another knot, and on top of that I actually tied the bow. So here we go. This is how I did it. So it dangles on the right length where I want it, and it's ready to be tied into a bow. And you can now see how I am doing this with tweezers, which is very difficult for me with my long nails, but I manage. Apparently it's good fun for those of you who don't have long nails, but I am a nail technician, so when I teach my nail classes I cannot afford to have no nails on. People keep asking me, where are your nails? Why are you a teacher for nail design if you don't have any nails? So there you go. That's the reason why I have long nails. So I just trim the ends and make it look pretty. And this is almost done. The last thing that I would need to do is glue this to the inside. So I'm going to open this up, add a lot of wet glue and just slide it in. Actually, this piece is essential if you have used the brads that go through, because otherwise you will have a very ugly backside of your satchel if you open up your satchel. But I'm going to put this in, but you don't need to see this on camera. But this is basically the satchel finish, and I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. And again, all the measurements, I might have misspoken some while I was talking here. Please go to my blog, look them up. I make sure the ones on the blog are 100% right. And this is my little project for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks for being with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.